Good morning, everyone. Today, I would like to present a book called Blue Moon Beach. This book is written by Sue Murray, an Australian writer, so I hope you enjoy it and find it interesting. To begin with, I choose to read this book because the title and setting immediately caught my attention. A place like Blue Moon Beach, sounding calm, natural, and full of life, which made me curious about the story. I'm also interested in the stories uh, about animals being part of the plot, especially the sea eagles, because it suggested that the story would include nature and maybe an important message about protecting it. So, as I read, it became clear that the book teaches values such as friendship, courage, and responsibility, showing how two very different people can learn from each other and grow together. So let's move on to the story in which it takes place in a quiet and beautiful coastal village called Blue Moon Beach, where the sea is warm and blue and the sand is bright white. In this beautiful place lives Sam, a 15-year-old boy who has spent his whole life there. He has his parents run their small hotel, but what he truly loves is the natural world around him, especially the sea eagles that fly above the beach. He admires their strength and freedom, and he dreams of learning everything about them. But life at Blue Moon Beach is not as perfect as it seems. Sam has noticed that there are fewer eagles than before, so this serious problem is seen when the trees they depend on are disappearing, replaced by houses in development. This change fills Sam with frustration because he knows the birds are slowly losing their homes. So after that, at the beginning of the summer, a boy named Dean arrives with his mother at Blue Moon Beach. Tim is another character in the story because he's very different from Sam. He comes from the city and looks uncomfortable at the beach, as well as he doesn't share some interests. So their first interactions are cool and distant. As for example, they were together, but there is no real connection between them. So, however, one afternoon, everything changes when Tim climbs the rocks near the seagull's nets, not understanding how dangerous it is for the nets or for the birds. So Sam becomes angry and shouts at him, trying to protect the nest. In his attempt to get away, Tim slips and falls into the deep water. So as he cannot swim, the panic takes over and he calls for help. And without hesitation, Sam jumps into the water and struggles to bring him back to safety. Both boys are shaken, but that moment creates a bond between them. From that day on, they begin to trust each other. So as time passes, their friendship grows, and Tim begins to open up about his life, including the loss of his father and the way his mother worries about him. So Sam in turn shares his knowledge about the beach and the seagulls. They start spending more time together, learning from each other and building a connection that did not exist before. Although the climax of the story is when one night they secretly leave the hotel and walk along the dark beach. There, they discover something unexpected, a truck hidden near the trees, filled with nets, ropes, and boxes. Some realize the truth. Bird smugglers are planning to capture the sea eagles. So the situation becomes dangerous, but the boys decide they cannot ignore it, and they come out with a plan. This team uses his knowledge of machines to damage the truck, and so it cannot move, while Sam observes the smugglers and gathers information. When the men return with the captured bears, the boys act quickly, using ropes and nets. They manage to trap the smugglers just long enough for the police to arrive. So the moment becomes tense and frightening, but their courage does not fail. With the help of the police, the smugglers are arrested, and the sea eagles are rescued. So the birds and their eggs are carefully returned to their nests, and the danger is finally over. In the final days, everything feels calmer again. Sam and Tim continue spending time together now as true friends. So they swim, talk, and share what they know. In the end, before Tim leaves, Sam and him visit the rocks one last time. They see something special. A baby sea eagle in the nest. It is small but strong, and its presence brings a sense of hope. So as the adult birds fly above them, both boys know that this moment is something they will never forget. And to understand better, in my opinion, the story is simple but meaningful. The characters develop in a natural way, especially Tim, who grows from being fearful and unsure into someone brave and capable. So Sam also shows growth, learning to control his emotions and take responsibility for his actions. And the story teaches that protecting nature is important and that even young people can make a difference when they act with courage. Although some parts are predictable, the message is clear and valuable, making the story both enjoyable and meaningful. So I hope you enjoy it and find it interesting one more time. And well, thank you.